Hi everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Saturday, November 6th of the year 2021, and this is going to be FlossTube number 70. So as always, I want to welcome you all. Welcome back to all my current viewers and subscribers, and thank you as always for your continuing support. I wouldn't be at video number 70 if it wasn't for you all, so thank you. Thank you for keeping up with me, for continuing to come visit regardless of how long it's been between visits. So thank you, it's very much appreciated. And if this is your first time visiting, then welcome. I hope that you like what you see and you find a reason to stay, subscribe, and continue to follow me on my stitching journey. As always, I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope that everybody's staying safe and sound. Everything's good here. We just had a really busy month. Lots of things just happened to keep piling up on top of each other, and I wanted to film. There were times when I missed filming. I missed spending time with you all, spending time sharing, and I kept thinking I wanted to film, but I just couldn't find the time to settle in, because obviously the more time I go without filming, the more I have to show. So suddenly I have it was just really hectic, but things are good now. Things are much better. Midterm season came and went. That was one of the things that was keeping me busy, was just making sure that I did well on those, which I did well enough, I guess. But yeah, I do hope, fingers crossed, I won't go as long without posting a video, but I do want to make an effort to at least keep in touch with you all more often. So we do have the community tab in our channels for those of us that have, I think, 500 subscribers or more now. So I do want to make use of that more often, whether it be checking in with you all, or letting you know, hey, the video might come a little bit later, or something along those lines. So I do hope to continue, or to do better, I suppose. That's what I'm trying to say, to be better. So yeah, so having said all of that, I do have quite a bit to show you, pretty much the entire month's worth of stitching. So let's just get into it, shall we? And I do want to start with a finish. I was able to finish my Beauty and the Beast kit. It's called Be Brave. It's a Dimensions Designs that I got. I found it at Michael's or Joann's. I think it was Joann's. I got it at Joann's, which is the local craft store chain here in the United States. It is available in 123 Stitch, and it is available at least in the US Amazon. So there's a few places you can get it. I used all of the materials that came in the kit. It came with the 14 count white Ada, and I just used all of the colors that came along with it as well. Go ahead and just zoom in on those details for a bit. I actually just realized I forgot to do her earring. There's supposed to be like a French knot here. Oops. Oh well, I may or may not add it. But yeah, it was interesting to stitch on. I feel like this was definitely meant for beginners. Even though there is a lot of back stitching, there is a lot of detailing to do. There's no half stitches, there's no quarter stitches or 3/4 stitches, which I think, especially for the smaller areas like the eyes and just her face, some of those could have used quarter stitches to just give it a little bit more definition or more accuracy, I guess. But it is what it is. I'm still really happy with how it turned out. That chandelier was fun to do. And yeah, the writing was interesting. So I don't know, I don't think I told this story before, because it has been a while since I filmed, but because I'm pretty sure I never showed you guys. I think I was still in her bodice or something when I last showed it to you. So I had a bit of a hiccup when I was stitching this. The letters for strong, they were all along the same straight line, except for this leg and the word N. Apparently that's one stitch longer down, and I didn't realize this, you know, because at that point, you know, all the rest of the letters had been, you know, all straight and like level. I guess it's just the same level. So I didn't realize my mistake until I tried to stitch the black letters, because I was using that last stitch in the N, the bottom of the leg of the N. I was using that as a starting off point, like a kick-off point. So eventually I think I was trying to stitch the T here, and it wasn't lining up with it. It wasn't lining up properly, and I counted, because I thought the mistake was with the letters, right? I thought it was with the black letters. It wasn't until I counted for like 6-7 times that I thought to check the word strong. So that's when I realized the mistake, and I left it. Like at that point I just adjusted the word true. I just made it one stitch down. Okay, because otherwise these little swirlies would have just piled on top of each other. So I was just like, fine, I'll just stitch it one stitch down. That's it. That was easy fix, I suppose. It just took a bit to realize what the mistake was. So yeah, so here it is. One more finish. Probably one of the last finishes of 2021, considering it's already, you know, we're already through first week of November. I was thinking, you know, as I was missing, you know, FlossTube and filming and whatnot, I do have quite a bit of finished pieces that haven't been FFO'd. I haven't framed them, I haven't done anything with them. So I may do a short video one of these days, maybe once the semester's over and I don't have too much work. But I do want to show, I may just show you, do a recap of, especially this year that I've finished so many. So far I've finished 10 pieces so far. I wanted to do, just showcase all of the recent finishes. So that, you know, just something that occurred to me that may or may not come to be. I hope so, because it shouldn't involve too much effort. Anyway, that piece was the focus piece that I was using for my daily 30 challenge. So stitch on one piece for at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week, at least 5 days a week. You can do more, but for the purposes of the challenge, it's just 5 days a week. Once I finished that, I decided to grab my Mystic Stitch chart called Change of Seasons 2 and make this my daily 30 piece, because this one, I'm stitching it along with Lady Wing Designs, Zakia of Lady Wing Designs, and I do want to get a move on this. It hasn't, I mean, we gave each other 8 years 8 years to finish this, and as it is, I have to start stitching. I have to start stitching on this quite frequently in order to meet that deadline, even though it is 8 years. So as soon as I finish that one, finishing Beauty and the Beast kind of lined up with the start of a new week, so I was able to immediately just start stitching on this. So this is what I have so far. As it is, I think I'm at like 8%, not even, I can tell you. I wanted to say 8% of this is complete, but I could be wrong. So let me check to see if Pattern Keeper is going to cooperate with me this time around. It's been very temperamental the last couple of days. 7.41% according to Pattern Keeper. So as you can see, this is the divide. This is the fall, autumn season, and this is winter. So the idea is to keep stitching on winter and try to make my way down so that I can reach the spring section by the time we get to spring. And, you know, try to do the same when summertime comes around. So we'll see how it goes. As it is, you know, I'm averaging about 100 stitches for those 30 minutes because I'm only doing one color at a time right now. So I don't have to worry about changing colors or anything like that. So it does go by pretty quick. I am getting some decent progress on this. So hopefully that'll continue. And I did continue stitching on some of my you know, my frequently touched whips, one of which is my Moon Charmer, which I can show you if the paper would come out of it. There we go. This is Moon Charmer by Amy Stewart. Well, it's the selected size, so it's a request. Somebody requested this size specifically. I just chose it because it was smaller than the original one. So this one, I kind of lost steam on it a little bit, and I think it's because I'm doing the tree right now, and it's just 2, maybe 3 colors, so it's a bit slow going. But I do have it on my stitch and button bag. I thought I did well considering it's moons and constellations. I thought I did well with the theme. And this is what the inside of the bag looks like, which I thought was pretty cool as well. Again, it reminded me of the sky, the colors of the sky. So this is what I have so far. And I think this is a 22% completion. So as I said, I worked on this section pretty much. When I did work on it, I think I gave it maybe 300 or 400 stitches total. Again, kind of lost steam on it a little bit. I may go ahead and I think I may have mentioned this in the last video as well. Sorry if I'm repeating myself again, it's been a bit. I think I may go ahead and come up here for a bit and work on the sky. Maybe finish this top section, just for the sake of having some change. And maybe that'll get me more motivated to keep working on this, because it is one of my larger pieces, and my boyfriend actually likes this piece. I mean, not that he doesn't like my other pieces, but he's interested in this one. I mean, I'm sure, you know, if you have partners or whatever, then I'm sure you understand how it is. So I do want to finish this because we both like this. So I'm sure I'm gonna say this a lot in this video, but I do want to make this one of my focuses. Again, I'm gonna say that a lot, I can tell. And I just want to put this back because otherwise I'm gonna have a mess by the time I finish filming. But this one is going to be maybe taking at least for the next month. I'm doing something a little bit different this month, which I'll talk about later, but it's going to take a little bit of a pause of sorts. Another one of my usual whips is the Fane Fairy, my mini midnight stroll. Another one of my Hate designs. That's Hate, Heaven and Earth Designs. Mini Midnight Stroll by Julie Fane. So I call this one my Fane Fairy. And this one's doing pretty well considering I started it last May and I'm already at 45% completion. So this is what I have so far. And right now I focused a lot on this purple. It's purple, it's not blue. This purple color right here. I meant to do it just all the way down, but there's a lot of blank space here. Like, I don't use this color a lot, and so I decided to switch colors. So I did that same purple, I did it all the way down here. Once I got to this section, I switched over to the 939, and then started doing that color, and then just decided to keep going. And this entire section right here, that's the edge of the lake, or this is going to be like the horizon line right here, that's all 939 and black. So it stitches pretty quick because it's just solid colors, so I don't have to worry about counting much. So it's very quick stitching. It's nice, easy going. So I do hope to hit the halfway mark on this point, on this whip, before the end of the year. So I'm really happy with this one. I'm very excited, and it's coming along very well. I kind of flopped back and forth a lot on the colors because I wanted to do it color by color. I wanted to do that one purple, but then I decided it wasn't gonna work too well for this design much. Once I got to the water that has a lot of different like, because it's this area right here that's the issue. So, well, actually it should be this area right here. Either way, it's a little bit harder to get to those sections because I wouldn't have any other floss to anchor it to. So sorry for the noise. And one of the pieces that I think I did show it to you, or at least talked about it the last video, because I was all excited. I was very excited and all pumped up for Halloween, and I was gonna do all the Halloween stitching. I ended up not doing much Halloween stitching. One of the pieces that I did do is my Tilton Crafts chart. This is Till Death Do Us Part. The artist is Daniel Kordick, and for this one I got really excited with this one. I think that's also why I didn't do too much variety in terms of Halloween stitching. I mean, Halloweenish. It's a relatively tame movie. But for this one I was very happy because I started doing Victor's face. So this is what I have so far. And I think the last time I showed it to you, I almost dropped my whips. I think the last time I showed it to you, I was still over here. I was still doing the black background. Eventually, because I had like a length of a floss done on his hair. So I just decided, you know what, I want to get to the main, the main point of the design. So especially because so many of my whips I'm just doing background, and I'm working on everything except for the focus of the piece. I decided for once I want to go ahead and do something different. So I started working on his face. And this would be one of the first, because again, I have so many whips, but this actually would be one of the first whips to actually have like a face finished. And for all my other pieces, again, I'm still working on background, so even if there is a person there, I haven't done the face. I think I've done it on my Lilac Evening, maybe, because her face was pretty big and it's finished, but other than that, there's not too many to show. And as usual, I was kind of nervous because the movie itself has a very the living world has a lot of black and white palette. It's just grays, and because it's supposed to be dull. It's supposed to be like this really uninspiring place for him. So the pattern called for browns, and I was just like, are you sure about that? Are you really sure about this? Because I would think, you know, let's do grays. Let's do grays and you know, and black and whatnot. But once you put, obviously, once you, you know, kind of step back, everything looks good so far. Like I'm okay with how it looks right now. So I'm excited, and I look forward to keep going on this, because yeah, I think that's why I didn't do too much Halloween stitching, is because this was pretty much my focus, my Halloween focus. So I hope to continue, and I hope to be able to finish his face by the end of the year. I'll go ahead and put this back so I can have something to show for it, and if I finish the face, then I can at least keep going and do the rest of his clothes. And alternatively, you know, I can keep switching back and forth between, you know, foreground and background. Like, and I can just do the frame, the black frame, as I go, because that gets, you know, that gets old very quickly. So some variety will be good. And then the only other Halloween piece that I really worked on besides that one, and the only reason I call it Halloween is because it's a villain, is the design by Mandrick's Design, my Darth Vader. And she's the same designer that did my Bilbo, the Bilbo's home piece. So this is what he looks like, or what he will look like when I'm finished. I hope to do this color by color, and so far it's worked good. It's worked well. This is what I have so far. And I dropped my floss. So I think the last time I was able to show this to you all, I had this section done, and I think I may have started at least to work my way up. So this is new right here, and of course the rest of the helmet wasn't there before. So for this one, doing it color by color does work, especially considering that I started with one of the colors that's used the most. It's the 823 blue. This one's at 22.45% finished already, which is great. Considering it's only got 1,800 stitches in, it's good. Sometimes it's nice to have those pieces that are able to stitch up fast, especially, you know, full coverage fanatic as I am. Sometimes it is nice to make nice quick progress. So I hope to finish with the 823, and then I'll go ahead and move on to the color, the second most used color in the design, and then just keep going until I finish him. This is also going to be a gift, so I do want to finish it sooner rather than later. And this is also in my stitching button bag, which I'm pretty sure was a gift from a friend of mine. So thank you, Joni. And I just thought it, you know, maybe ironic to have Star Wars in a Harry Potter bag. Okay. Aside from that, for the last few days, some of my friends and I are doing a challenge where we are doing a whip parade. We're calling it a whip parade. We're trying to stitch on as many of our pieces as we want/can. So I decided to go ahead and start from, you know, chronological order. That may just change depending on my mood. So far it's been okay. I've been able to stay relatively in order. So I did start with my mini one piece or whip. This is by Cindy Nielsen. It's also Heaven Earth Designs chart. This is my oldest chart. I started in August of 2018, and it's just over a third of the way done. So that's why I took it out, because I really haven't been able to, not that I haven't been able to, but I just haven't really been called or, you know, inspired to work on it a lot this year. So this is what I have so far. And the 200 stitches were just, because that's how my personal goal is, to do at least 200 stitches on all of the whips. So again, I have no intentions of finishing, but I'll see how many I can do. The 200 stitches were just all this one color that's throughout here in the middle. The dark stitches here already there, and this brownish color underneath was already here. So it was relatively quick stitching, because again, I only had to worry about one color. And I hope to be able to keep going. I want to do the water first, so finish the ocean that's on the other side. And then I'll go ahead and move into her hair, which the color that I used did blend into the hair, like some of the especially because it is sepia tones, it's all, you know, same colors. There was a little bit of overlap. So once I realized that I was starting to stitch some of her hair, I was like, okay, I'll just finish this length of thread and then work on another section. So we'll see. We'll see what next year brings for her. I do want to finish her next year because she's my oldest whip. So hopefully it won't take too much longer. And then another piece that I worked on as far as going through the whip parade is my Riolis kit, which I would show you if I knew where it went. Oh, it's underneath. It's this one. It's my lilac evening piece. And again, I hadn't really worked on her in a long time. So I figured, okay, 200 stitches is okay. It's also hard to motivate myself to stitch on the patterns where I have the paper pattern. I've become spoiled by Pattern Keeper, and so it's just hard. But here she is. The 200 stitches that I did on her were here pretty much. It again, the same, just one color, 200 stitches done in the one color. Originally I had started going down here, so I think I just finished that section and then did some additional ones that were the same. And it's all the folds, you know, it's all that semi-transparent fabric that's holding up her hat, so it all works together. And yeah, it was nice to stitch on her though. I always love stitching on this one. This is on a 16 count Zweigart fabric that came with the kit, so the fabric is really nice to work with. So I hope to keep going with her. Again, she's one of my oldest, so I do want to get a move on her, because she still needs, there's so much more to do on her. She has all these flowers, and there's a lot of beading on both the hat. Well, it's the same cloth. Oh. Okay, it's past. It's really it's the same cloth here, and so it's just knotted and it goes through here, so all of it has beading to do on it. I don't know if you can even see it, but it's there, I promise. So there's that as well. Like, I have to keep reminding myself that it's not just about finishing the stitching. I also have to do all that extra stuff. I don't think there's much back stitching on this one. I think it's just mostly just the beading and the flowers. So this is one of the pieces that I worked on. Another one that I picked up that I haven't really worked on in a long time either is my watercolor floral. This is by Stitchery Stitch on Etsy, and the pattern is still available. All of these links will be in the description down below. So this one, I meant to work on her, or on this one after I did a page on Sleeping Beauty. So I said, okay, I finished a page on Sleeping Beauty, I'll now do a page on Watercolor Floral. And it just didn't happen. I got caught up with our other projects. But I did do, I had to do some frogging, but I did do 200 stitches in this one color. So the edge of the page went here, pretty much exactly here. And so the 200 stitches were all just done on the new page. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. All day, every day. there's two community hospitals close by, so it's quite literally all day, every day. So yes, it's 200 stitches done on this one. Again, for this one, it's really slow going because the paper pattern and the colors, the symbols are all in the colors that are used, so it's not in black and white. So, and a lot of the colors are similar, so it's a little bit, it's even slower because it's just hard to distinguish. Like, even though the symbols are on top of the color, sometimes it's just hard to distinguish between the symbols. I do have a couple more pieces that I worked on. One of them, I think I did show it to you the last video, and I'll show you the finished product first. Alma, come on. I know you're rusty, but you should know this by now. This is a design by Oh My Stitches Shop, and it's her Baby Yoda piece, which I think it's technically called Baby Alien. But I started this last year. I'm pretty sure I started this in November when everybody was starting stuff for No New Starts. Yeah. So for this one, I just changed up the colors. I didn't like the tones that she used for Baby Yoda. So I just, pulled up some pictures from the show and tried to match them as best as I could. So this is what I have so far. I think the last time I showed it to you, he was done except for the black, for all the black outlining. So I finished it all, and now I'm just working on the flowers. And the flowers, I changed colors as well, just for the sake of getting rid of some of the colors I already had. So I did do my own color conversion for pretty much everything on this piece. So I meant to finish it, in October, but at this point I figured I've been focusing so much on finishing whips. That was the purpose of No New Starts, is to finish things, that a lot of my larger pieces have just, they suffered. I haven't been able to work on them. Some whips that I focused on last year I haven't even touched this year, like my Snow Girl, the Snow White girl that I have. Last year I did at least 20,000 stitches on her because of the 20/20 challenge, and this year she's literally gotten no stitches whatsoever. So that was also one of the things. Again, this whole month has just been a lot of reevaluating my life. So I decided, I finished Beauty and the Beast because that one didn't have much more to go. But I thought, okay, you know what? I'll call it. I'll keep working on him and try to finish him before the end of the year. But I won't, I won't rush. I want to focus on my full coverages. I want to hit milestones on those, whether it be hitting, a certain percentage or a certain stitch count, so that I can make more progress on those. And I feel like that's going to be what next year's all about as well, is making up for all the time lost this year It's been amazing, don't get me wrong. I've really enjoyed knocking out all those whips. I finished my Hogwarts piece, which was a major achievement this year. For me, that was the big finish, and I wasn't expecting to finish any more large full coverage pieces. So, you know, give and take, I guess. I was happy to finish smaller pieces this year, but I feel like next year I really do have to focus a lot more on my full coverage pieces. I'll still work on some of my non-full coverage, like my samplers, but you know, I'll try to make progress on everything. I was also considering just trying, focus on the word trying, to just do one whip focus, monogamous stitching, and see how that goes. Maybe try, and I don't know, I'll see. We'll see, because I also do a lot of challenge groups, and a lot of challenge groups tell you to stitch on different things. So I'll find some balance. As always, it's all about finding the balance between everything. And the last one I want to show you, which I did do some progress on, is another one of my haids. This is Tea and Books, and I'm actually going to pull up the PDF so that you can see who the designer is. That's going to be easier. There we go. So it's Tea and Books by Bridget Ashwood. Again, another Haid. I'm stitching this along with Tess from Tess Stitches. And she and I both started around the same time. I forget when exactly. But this was one of those pieces where I didn't realize how big it was going to be until I got the fabric, which she was kind enough to gift to me. And for this one, I went the easy route and just stitched on one colors as well, for the sake of making quick progress. Okay, look at all this fabric. Look at it. It is on the 18 count easy grid. So there's that. So yeah, so the 500 something stitches, however many it was, excuse me, it was all in the black. It was all in the black. I just binge watched a Netflix series and just stitched. It was a mini series, so it was only like 4 or 5 episodes, but still, I finished it within like 2 days. And after I do the goal is to keep going with that much, I guess, as much as you see there, because I think this is where the page ends, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check, but I want to do all of this, so follow that all the way to the other edge, and then, you know, scroll up and then do the same, and so on and so forth. So I just want to do it row by row of pages, because I want, you know, the idea was to just do it book by book. So hopefully I can keep going like that. Obviously, once I get to like the teacup, I'm gonna have to think of something else because at that point it'll just be background. So I also want to make sure that I don't get burnt out on that background. Even though it does have like a variety of colors, it's still just, you know, the same 4 or 5 colors over and over again. I think 420 is one of the most used colors in this one. So yeah, so this was again, this was one of the easy stitching. Between this one and Course Bride, I think I have enough to work on when I'm watching TV. I can just work on black, stitch the solid black colors and not have to worry about much. And yeah, for this one, since it was one of my most recent starts. Like I'm pretty sure I started it in November as well, but I can't remember for sure. I still started it last year though. I know I started it last year, so it's not going to get as much focus as other pieces. And yeah, that was pretty much all of the pieces I worked on in one way or another. I want to keep going with the change of seasons with this one. I do want to keep going on this one and use it for my daily 30. I'm hoping that I'll obviously, I'll have to gauge it, and I'll have to actually sit down and kind of do some maths to make sure that I'm on top of it. But I do want to get to the point where I can either go work my way, across and down, or because right now I'm doing it down right here. I'm going down the middle. There's a lot of confetti here, so I don't know if I'll be able to just pick one solid color and just move my way down this way. But either way, I would like to, one way or another, get to the spring section. Whether that means going this way and this way, or somehow get here. So again, I'll have to do some maths, kind of gauge how much I can get done during the week, and see if I'm on track. Other than that, I do want to at least try to keep doing the whip parade. I did get out the next few whips that I have to do. The next one up for that one is actually the Moon Charmer. This one. And I haven't worked on her in a while, so I will go ahead and add 200 stitches on her. I kind of told myself that I reserved the right to skip a whip if I've already been working on it for a long time. So for example, my Fame Fairy, that one's gotten plenty of progress, so I'll probably skip it when her turn comes. But this one I haven't worked on her in a while, so I will add the 200 stitches and then keep going. And yeah, I'm already starting a little bit to think about next year's plans. I'm not, and I don't, again, forgive me if I'm repeating myself, it's been a bit. I'm not going to be participating in No New Starts next year. They have formed, so they're archiving the current No New Starts group, and they are making a new one for next year because they're changing things up a bit. So I feel like they decided it was best to just start from scratch. So I still will try to focus more on making progress on curtain whips. As I mentioned, I want to focus on my full coverage whips, but I do have some new starts in mind. Sorry, I got a phone call. As I was saying, I'm not going to be participating in No New Starts 2022 next year because I do have some starts planned, not too much. As I mentioned, I do want to focus on making progress on my current whips. There's many of them that I miss that deserve more time. My Mirabilia that I started last year, I started her in July. She's barely gotten any attention. I really do want to work on her. But at the same time, I do want to start some of the projects that I've got, that I had, like just gathering dust, just waiting their turn. So again, I won't go crazy. It won't be like last year when I just started so many. I more than doubled the amount of whips that I had going from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be maybe 5 starts throughout the year or so. So it's not gonna be anything crazy. But yeah, I'm also excited for the challenge groups that I'm participating in. Magical Stitches announced their theme for the year. They too are going to be archiving their current group and starting a new group. It's going to be more like personal goals from what I understand. So they're still going to give us the weekly prompts, but it won't be for points. It won't be competitive next year. it's just going to be focusing more on what you want to do, which suits me because that's pretty much what I've been doing the last few months anyway. I used to be all about matching the prompts and finding whips to stitch on to match the prompts, and then I just slowly but surely kind of shifted away from that a little bit. So I'm kind of happy that they're going to be doing that change as well. So yeah, I'm excited for the things to come, and I really hope to be able to keep up with or not keep up, but go back to my regularly scheduled program. This month was just hectic, so that may or may not happen again, I don't know, but I do want to make a point of at least keeping up with you all. We do have the community tab, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned it, so I do want to make use of it because I know a lot of people they want to have it and they can't. I think you have to have at least 500 subscribers to be able to unlock that achievement. So I do want to make use of it. So yeah, so sorry for this last bit of rambling. Thank you for sticking around. It's a bit of a longer video this time, but I did have a lot of things to show and a lot of things to talk about. As always, anything that you saw today, I'll have the links down below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, a productive week, and you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. Until next time, bye.